Russian President Mr. Putin revealed that a procurement plan is being laid out for acquiring 76 Su-57. The announcement was made during a meeting on May 15, 2019. These jets are expected to be deployed by 2028. The Kremlin previously planned to have 150 of these aircraft in service by 2020. Interestingly, this disclosure comes a day after 6 of these jets had escorted the Russian president as he flew to visit the Russian Air Force's 929th Chkalov State Flight-Test Center. Russia currently has 12 of these in flying condition. Russia's been struggling to fulfill many defense acquisitions due to fund crunch, and this has come as a surprise to many analysts. As per some reports in Kommersant newspaper in Russia, the unexpectedly high number of the order has been possible because of reduction in cost made possible due to some change in aircraft's internal layout, improvements to the production process, and capping of the profit margin for defense procurement program to a maximum of 5%. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes Russian President Mr. Putin's announcement of serial producing 76 Su-57. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank or aircraft and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. The Sukhoi Su-57 is a 5th-generation, stealthy, single-seat, twin-engine, jet, multi-role fighter aircraft designed for air superiority and ground attack operations. It's the successor of Su-35 and Russia's answer to American F-35 Lightning II and F-22 Raptor. Although most information is classified, sources within the Sukhoi company and Defense Ministry have openly stated that the aircraft is stealthy, super maneuverable, have super cruise capability, incorporate substantial amounts of composite materials, and possess advanced avionics such as active phased array radar and sensor fusion. A prototype first flew on the 29th of January 2010, and this is the first time the fighter's been deployed. Russian Air Force has ordered 12 of these for its own use, with the initial estimated eventual purchase of more than 150 in the future. Last year, 4 Su-57 fighters in batches of 2 each were seen at Syria's Hmeimim Air Base, and they engaged in limited combat missions. The Su-57 is the first operational aircraft in Russian Air Force service to use stealth technology. Similar to F-22, the airframe incorporates design elements that reduce radar cross-section (RCS) of the jet. Weapons are carried internally in weapons bays, with the airframe and antennas are recessed from the surface of the skin to preserve the aircraft's stealthy shape. Also, radar absorbent material (RAM) has been used to reduce its radar returns. Su-57 is designed to have extreme maneuverability at both supersonic and subsonic speeds. This can provide it with a brutal advantage in dogfights and help it defeat missile with extreme evasive maneuvers instead of entirely relying on stealth. It is the first fighter jet to utilize 3D thrust vectoring. This enables engine thrust to be pointed in different directions, providing increased pitch, roll, and yaw control. American F-22 Raptor also utilized thrust vectoring, but it's only two-dimensional, up and down for pitch control. Super cruise is the ability to sustain supersonic flight without using fuel-inefficient afterburners. Su-57 is thought to be capable of reaching speeds of up to Mach 2 without an afterburner. Su-57 has NO-36 Belka radar system that consists of main nose-mounted X-band AESA radar, 2 smaller X-band AESA radars mounted on the sides of the forward fuselage, and 2 L-band arrays on the wing's leading edge extensions. This provides Su-57 with 360-degree coverage. With its onboard Belka radar station, the Su-57 is speculated to have the ability to detect stealth aircraft and track over 10 targets simultaneously. It also houses an infrared search and track (IRST) sensor at the base of its windscreen, providing it with another option with which to detect enemy aircraft apart from Belka radar system. IRST sensors can track an aircraft by its infrared signatures. In this regard, it's well ahead of F-22 Raptor, which has one AESA radar and no IRST radar. Viewers may note that the Su-57 program had the backing of India. India was looking for a customized variant of Su-57 for its Air Force and had to put in significant funding. India wanted to acquire around 150 jets. In April of 2018, India pulled out of the project. The main reasons were engine issue and unconvincing stealth characteristics. Sukhoi originally planned to use an advanced derivative of Saturn AL-31F engine found on its flankers for the Su-57. Su-57 was supposed to have new AL-41F1 engine. But the AL-41F1 engine ran into technical difficulty and didn't match the required performance criteria. Saturn, the manufacturer, is working on a new and more powerful design, known as the Izdalai 30 or Product 30. But even this has been facing developmental challenges and may be available for testing at some time in the 2020s. As reported in Indian media, Indian experts were of the view that the aircraft's stealth characteristics could not be improved significantly, even with future modifications, since it was flawed at many basic levels. Though exact details regarding this are not available, but two basic observations have been pointed out by some military analysts. 1. Su-57 is not precision engineered like F-22 Raptor. For example, there's a lot of gap between flaps, as well as between the rear vertical tail and the fuselage. This is probably because Russia doesn't have the machining technology to engineer seamless surfaces. This heavily compromises stealth. 2. Su-57 also has rivets on the outer surface. For example, the nose is bolted on the main body with rivets sticking out. This kind of unevenness drastically affects the stealth profile. As per President Putin, the program will cost around $2.63 billion. If we calculate that 76 of these will be bought, it comes out to be $34 million per jet. This figure is insanely low. Even the Sukhoi Su-30 variants sold to China and India in 2000 were priced at $53 million per jet. Also, Mr. Putin seemed to suggest in his comments at the meeting that the price reductions would make the order for 76 Su-57 cost the same as the previously planned purchase of just 16 aircraft. It's difficult to understand how it could be possible to acquire nearly 5 times as many planes for the same price with just a 20% decrease in unit cost. Overall, there seems to be something amiss. Just around a year back, Russia's defense minister, Yuri Borisov, had said that Su-57 would not be serially produced anytime soon. He, during an interview with the state-owned Russia 24 television network on July 2, 2018, said, "You know that today the Su-57 is considered to be one of the best aircraft produced in the world. Consequently, it does not make sense to speed up work on mass-producing the 5th-generation aircraft." He was implying that the MiG-29 Fulcrum and Su-35S Flanker E are more than capable of fulfilling Russia's air combat needs. The official statement from Russian officials in 2018 indicated that cost was the driving factor for deferring production of Su-57 in favor of the latest models of existing 4th-generation fighters like Su-35. It's to be noted that Russia has similarly decided to curtail production of new T-14 Armata tank and has instead preferred upgrading its existing T-90 tanks. It's unclear what's changed in a year. Significant questions also remain as to how capable the Su-57 will actually be given its lingering issues and Russia's ability to serially produce 72 jets in 8 years. It's also important to note that even if Russia acquires the 76 Su-57 by 2028, it will be less than half of F-22 Raptors the US currently has, and will also be much less than F-35s that will be acquired in the meantime.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.